Polynomial long division. These problems, I will tell you, I'll be honest, I'll tell you right up front, these problems are long and annoying. I'm sorry, they're one of the things you have to learn in this class.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it's believable, trust me. All right, you don't want to believe it, but it is.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so let's take example 16.3. It says divide 2 plus 5x minus 2x squared plus 5x cubed by negative 4 plus x. And honestly, my first thought is,
I hate these with wording passion.
me too. Unfortunately, I have to teach it, and you have to learn it. Sorry. Okay, so the first thing is you want to arrange the terms in order and set up your division symbol. If we've got this divided by that, that means that this part is going to be on the outside here. And you want to arrange them in order with in descending order of the power.
We did this last year.
Probably for the very end. So negative 4 plus x, I want to put my x first, and then the minus 4, and then my division symbol. And I want to arrange this in descending order also. Highest power term is the x cubed.
5x cubed.
So I got 5x cubed, and then my x squared, and then my x, and then my number. So there I've set it up. So, just like with regular long division, we want to know, okay, how many times does it go into something? And you want to focus on just the first part here, and you want to focus on this goes into here, so just this part goes into here, how many times? Or in other words, this times what gives us this? 5x squared. So if 5x cubed divided by x is 5x squared. So that's the part that I put here. Right? I don't like green. Okay. So that answers this question. I'm going to write that above here. Then, just like with regular multiplication, next step is to multiply. So I'm going to take this, multiply by this whole thing here, and write it down here. 5x squared times x is 5x cubed. 5x squared times negative 4 is negative 20x squared. Now, here's this next part. I teach it differently from the way the book has it. The book says to mentally change the signs and add, or mentally change the signs and subtract, or whatever it says. It says mentally change the signs. I'm telling you, write it down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna lose track of things. Because if you don't actually write this down, you're probably gonna say, okay, these two cancel, then you're gonna have negative 22x squared, which would be wrong. Because we're subtracting this whole thing. So I need to change both of those signs.
I don't like that part.
Change both signs. Right? It's kind of like having the 5x cubed minus 20x squared in parentheses, and you subtract that. So you have to distribute that negative. 5x cubed minus 5x cubed goes away. Negative 2x squared plus 20x squared is positive 18x squared. So that's usually that part right there. This is usually where most people go wrong. So this is a very, very important step right there. All right, next thing is to, just like in regular long division, you bring the next thing down. So plus 5x. And then you have to, then this process repeats for a bit. So we've got to go back to 3. All right, x times what gives us 18x squared? 18x. So then we multiply the 18x times x minus 4. 18x times x is 18x squared. 18x times negative 4 is negative 72. X, I think. Yeah. And then we're going to subtract. All right, we're going to take this and we're going to subtract, changing both signs. So 18x squared minus 18x squared goes away, that's 0. 5x plus 72x is 77x. And we got to bring down the next thing,
Plus 2.
which is the plus 2. All right, and then we go back to this loop that we're in. X times what is 77x? 77. So then we multiply 77 times this. We've got 77x. 77 times negative 4, you would do on your calculator probably, is negative 308. And then we're going to subtract again. We're going to subtract, changing both signs. So change. So 77x minus 77x is 0. Plus 2 plus 308 is 310. We have now run out of x's. So now we get to our remainder.
How do we get the 308 and then
The 308 came from 77 times negative 4.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep. Okay, so now that we have our remainder, once we have run out of x's, with our remainder here, it's positive 310, so I'm going to say plus. I'm going to take that remainder and put it over our original divisor of x minus 4. So then this whole thing here is our answer. One more quick example, because sometimes if you don't have all your terms, you have to make space for them. So, example 16.4 says divide negative 6 plus x cubed by negative 2 plus x. So, following our first step here, arranging our terms in order and setting up our division symbol. Negative 2 plus x, we want to put it in descending order, just like we did here. We want the x first and then the number, and we're going to have our division symbol. What's our highest powered term here? X cubed. Yep, the 3 for the x cubed. Then we need an x squared term. We don't have one. We have to leave a space for it. So I'm going to use a 0. Then we need an x term. We don't have one, so I need to leave space for an x term. And then we have a number. So I'll make sure you're paying attention, because on some of these problems, you might be missing a power, one of the powers of the x. And if that happens, you have to leave space for it. And then we just green, red, purple, and brown. So same process as before. X times what is x cubed? And then we multiply. X squared times this whole thing. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times negative 2x is negative 2x squared. And that's why we had to leave a space for the x squared. Because when we go through the process, we're going to end up with one. Then we need to subtract. Remember, changing both signs.
Is it like squared after x squared?
Yeah, because if the original dividend had an x cubed,
Okay.
since it didn't have an x squared, I had to leave a space for it. So that when I do this step here, when I do the subtracting, this goes away, and I need to have space for the x squared.
Okay, thank you.
Then I bring down, if there is no x term, I'm just going to bring down a 0x. Then I go back to this part again. X goes into 2x squared, positive 2x times, so 2x, red. 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. Subtract, changing both signs. And these go away, and we've got positive 4x. And bring the next thing down. And we still have x's, so we're still in our little loop. X times what is 4x? 4. And then multiply, so 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. We're going to subtract, changing both signs. Negative 6 plus 8 is positive 2. Now we have run out of x's. So now we take our remainder, which is positive 2. So it's plus our remainder over the divisor, and there is our answer. So like I said, long and annoying. Sorry, nothing I can do about that for you really. But if you follow the steps, then you can get through them. Go ahead and stop the video.